In this video, I'll show you how you can 10x your productivity just by using Claude's extension. And you'll not believe what Claude's extension can do. If you're a designer, if you're working on something technical, if you are working on automations, Claude can essentially do anything inside your browser. The first step is to download Claude's extension. Just click Claude extension, click on this first link. And once you're inside this website, just add to Chrome and add to Chrome again, add extension, and it will automatically add this extension to your browser. After the extension is added, you will be needing to authorize your account. Just click on authorize and then your account will be authorized. So this is the extension that was added. Let's pin this extension so it can be on top. Okay, so now let's just click on this extension and it will ask for some permission. Instructions in website. Okay, I understand. You can basically automate repetitive tasks. Let's click next. Claude has tab group access. What this means is Chrome will automatically create a group. So when I open this extension, it has created this group. Claude cannot go inside tabs other than its group, so it cannot see this group. If I add this tab inside this group, now Claude can go inside that tab. So this is what this means. Let's click on next and you can basically create shortcuts. I'll also explain how you can do that. Let's go. So we have a very basic simple interface and by default it's set to Sonnet 4.6. Let's change this to Opus 4.6 because it is the most capable model yet and it is actually very smart. On the right side we have this clear chat, so you can basically clear the chat. Then we have these three dots, convert to task, settings, language. I think these are not very important. Current 4.6 is here. This is a new model. Okay. So we by default have this option enabled, which is ask before acting. So I would recommend you to use act without asking because it will automatically go inside your browser and do all of the things. But make sure you don't use it on something sensitive, something that is confidential, passwords, emails, or these kind of stuff. So make sure you're using on something like research, something like design, or these kind of stuff. On the right side, we have Teach Claude. If you click on it, you can basically teach Claude that this is how maybe I'm doing research. You can say that first I'm clicking here, then I will be clicking here, then I'll be writing the keyword, and you can basically teach Claude that this is how I do. And when you want to like ask Claude that do that same research, you can just type in a short code. You can just like forward slash and say this is the shortcut of SEO research, and go ahead and do it for UK keyword. Like you can basically mention the shortcut that you created while teaching Claude. So this is what it does, and we have a plus icon. This is basically this just basically takes a screenshot, or if you want to add an image, attach an image, you can do that as well. So this is a basic interface of Claude, and it has also given us high risk because we've enabled act without asking. So it will not be asking us again and again that this is what I found. It will go ahead and do everything on its own, and when the task is completed, it will just give you a short summary that this is what I did and these are the tools that I've used. So you can basically create an army of agents. Let's say if you're working on a project that needs some kind of designing, that needs to have some kind of technical stuff, that needs to have some like automations built, you can basically create an army of Claude's extension inside your browser and say that, okay, you're the designing employee. Claude A is the designing person. Go ahead and do designing. Claude B will do all of the technical stuff. Claude C will create all of the automation. So let me give you an example how we can do that. Firstly, let me just close this and ask it to do research on cheese pasta, let's say. Hey Claude, so I want you to do a research on cheese pasta. So basically, I want to create a restaurant inside Manchester. I don't know the rents, I don't know how the SEO works. I'm basically new to all of these things. If I open my restaurant there, what will be like the um, rent of the place? Like, how much budget should I be having in place? Can you go ahead and do this research on Google and see which places are available and give me like a rough estimate that how much per month do I have to have to like sustain this business. So go ahead on Google and do this research for me. So let's just click enter. And so now this agent will be working on the SEO, and it has opened a tab and it is searching for commercial restaurant space for rent. It has also created another tab in which it is searching for restaurant operating cost. Okay, so it has created another tab over the second tab. I don't know what it's searching here. Okay, so it's searching for some place. Um, okay, if I were to do this research, it would take me like 3, 4, or 5 hours, and I wouldn't be this efficient. I couldn't be like just thinking multidimensionally. It's like doing all of it. Let me give you another example. Let's go to my N10. Let's create a new workflow and let's just open our Claude's extension, and I'll just tell it to create a basic automation. Hey Claude, so I want you to go ahead inside my N10 instance and create me an automation. So on my Gmail, whenever I will be getting an email, it will automatically be summarized by OpenAI's node, and then it will send the email back to me with that summary. So this will be a very short automation. It will just have three nodes. The first is Gmails, whenever I will be receiving an email on my Gmail. Second is OpenAI. The third one is Gmail, which will be sending back to me. So go ahead and create this automation. Okay, so this guy will now be working on this automation, and it's like checking n8n instance configuration and doing its stuff. It has opened this tab and it's doing taking screenshot and doing like it will basically create full automation and give me a short summary that these are the things that I've used. So this is how powerful it can get. Okay, so now let me give you another example. This was basically a repetitive task that I used to do over and over again. It was research for YouTube. So let me go to my vidIQ, and I usually used to go inside my vidIQ and do this research. So in this example, I'll also show you that how you can use the Teach Claude feature. Let's just click on Claude icon and let's just click on Teach Claude. So these are some of the repetitive steps that we might use while researching. So this is a method that I use. You might be using something else. So you can basically teach anything to Claude. Let's just click on start recording, and now it will be recording this screen. Okay, the first step that I do is I usually go to keywords. Okay, so I type in the keyword anti gravity. Okay, so Claude is also listening to us. It's listening. Let's just type anti gravity. Let's hit enter, and then we go to matching terms. Then we just see for some keywords how to use anti gravity, and we copy it and we bring in inside Google Sheets. So this is just something that I usually do, and you can just like do a research, see in overview the videos that we have down here, and do your own research and put everything inside um, new Google Sheets or an existing one. So let's just now click on done, and we now have recorded steps for Claude, that these are the steps that you will be following every time. Okay, so now it has created a shortcut for me. In this shortcut, it's like everything is written. So this is a prompt, and I want to change the term that we were using, like anti-gravity. It should not be always using anti-gravity. I will be giving it a keyword and it will automatically go and do research for that keyword. I think everything looks pretty good. Keyword, navigate matching terms. Okay, this looks fine. Search volume, competition should be low. So this should be low. Should be low. Okay, so we have select desired keyword from matching terms. Okay, this looks fine. Yeah, I think everything looks fine. So you can also rename this to whatever you want. Let's say app with IQ. There is another option which is called schedules. You can also schedule it for any time. So this is another feature. I'll not do this for now. Let's just create a shortcut for this, and we have created a shortcut. So whenever you want to do a research on some kind of keyword, you can just click on forward slash, just follow these principles and do a research on keyword to research on is anti-gravity. Okay, I'll also explain it. Once you're done with the research on anti-gravity, go ahead, create a new Google Sheets and place everything there. So I want terms that have less or low competition. Go ahead and do this research. Let's click on enter, and this is how it will be following the same principles. So let's see what it does now. Okay, it's in keywords. Now it should click the search bar and type anti-gravity. Okay, so everything is working perfectly fine. Now this task was automated for me. I usually used to spend like 1 hour, 1.5 hour doing this research. Now it can go ahead and do this research and put everything inside Google Sheets. For the time, let's go back to our SEO, and it has done research for us, and these are based on statistics, facts. It's not just something like ChatGPT told you to do. So these all of this could be trusted. We have rent the biggest variable for current right move listings. The rent for this space is this much, and then we have business rates for 2026. Okay, we have staff labor. Okay, the staff labor costs like 12.5 pounds per hour. Okay, so this was something that I didn't have in mind, that I also needed to have labor around 6 to 8 people, a mix of full time. So it has done a pretty good job. 2 3 kitchen staff, 2 3 front of house staff. Industry source suggests roughly 2100 pounds per month per employee. Okay, on average. Okay, food and ingredients cost. Okay, so it has basically given a breakdown of everything. So this is a chart. This will be the rent. This is the business rate. This is staff labor cost, and basically everything based on stats. These are facts. You can trust on this stuff because it went inside Google. It went inside. I think this website. I don't know this website, right move. So I think this was used to get places. So this this task has also been done. Now let's move on to our second task, which was automation. So it has done a pretty good job. Like if I see this automation, everything has been done. Gmail trigger, we have messenger model, we have sent email back to my email. Let's verify this. Let's open my OpenAI's node. Let's see. Please summarize the following email in concise and clear way. Provide key points and any action items mentioned. Okay, so this looks fine, and it should be sending back to my email, which I think it is. Okay, so this also looks fine. It should also be putting the summary, email summary. Okay, so this also looks fine. So this is an automation created from start to finish. I didn't touch even a single node. So before it was like you don't need to touch a single line of code, but now it's like you don't need to touch anything. So this is very cool. Let's close this one and let's get back to our keyword research, and it is doing a research. It has created a Google Sheets on its own. I didn't do anything. It's doing everything on its own. Okay, so this is the sheet that it created for me, and as you can see that everything is well formatted. We have numbers, we have YouTube titles. So let's read our title: Anti-Gravity Tutorial, Complete Beginner Guide. You need to watch. These are keywords, these are search volume, because I told it to do research on low competition keywords. So it has done that. We have overall score, why it can blow up. So high search volume 78,000 with low competition, trending up, perfect for new channels. So these are some suggestions that it also gave me. So if I look into these titles, like all of these look amazing. I can create a video on this. How to use anti-gravity better than 99% of people. Like this title is amazing. Cursor versus anti-gravity, which AI code editor wins in 2026. Let's see why it can blow up. Comparison videos get massive clicks. Low competition with 38,000 searches, trending up strongly. So this was a process that I automated for myself. You can basically go ahead and create an army of agents working on one project. It could be one project, and there could be an agent working on designing, Claude A working on designing, Claude B working on AI automations, Claude C working on SEO stuff, Claude D working on something like technical. I don't know. So you can basically create an army who are working on one project, and this is how you can achieve more in less time. So I automated this stuff. You might have some other technical stuff. You might have some designing stuff. You can basically, if you're a designer, if you're doing in Figma, you can just open Figma and say that I want you to go ahead and create a homepage for this color scheme. If you are a WordPress guy, if you're a WordPress technical guy, you can go ahead and say, these are 250 products. Each product has like 7 variant. This is the Google Sheet. Go ahead and list it on my WordPress, and it will go and list it on your WordPress. So this is basically made for productizing your time. You can basically use it for whatever you feel comfortable with. And I would also recommend you to not use it on sensitive stuff like your confidential stuff, emails, password, these kind of stuff. So this was it for this video. If you learned something from this video, make sure to subscribe the channel and do watch other AI and automation videos on my channel. See you in the next one.